Dan Can't Stream is well, I guess he just joined Kick the other day, I think, like 2 days ago. But he's streaming on he has a Twitch account. He streams on Twitch.
And it's not like it's not even hidden, you know what I mean? Look, this is from their own fucking subreddit, right? The guy who's
he says they because he wants to implicate Destiny, but like I think Destiny's pretty hands off on that. This is literally just Dan. It's literally just Dan. When he says they, he means literally only simply just Dan.
doing this. Dan Can't Stream. He's like the main guy. No bad tactics, only bad targets. They would just as soon use these methods on you. Strategy number one of the CIA when they want to topple a far/left government is to create infighting. You are not MAGA enough. You are not a real freedom fighter. To my knowledge, the CIA doesn't engage in canvassing operations or advocacy. This tactic should have been left to the Autism Squad or whatever the secret DG operatives call themselves. Destiny may lose credibility as an advocate for democracy if he allows or supports his community in sharing information with fascist, democratic media figures.
I don't know what that means. Sharing information with I don't know what that means.
Turning the fascist machine.
This is like a roleplay thing. They're using like alternative rhetoric to roleplay this game, right? Is that what's happening?
Against itself is a fair game. It's effective warfare, and I completely disagree with your Hyro take. This is when they were talking about going to libs.
This is like the kind of mentality when Dan was screaming about how he's like Batman or some shit.
Of TikTok.
It's so unhinged.
Libs of TikTok. Chaya Raichik is that transphobic loser that they were collaborating with, and his own community going to libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok. Chaya Raichik is that transphobic loser that they were collaborating with.
What was happening with the Libs of TikTok person? What happened? They're talking about the Libs of TikTok talking about it. Dan maintains that he didn't do it, but who knows? He might have. He might have. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
The fascist.
He might have, but then also deny it. That's like the most Dan thing in this scenario. Is actually do it, don't tell anyone you did it, and deny it.
Machinery against itself is a fair game. It's effective warfare, and I completely disagree with your Hyro take. This is when they were talking about going to libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok. Chaya Raichik is that transphobic loser that they were collaborating with, and his own community was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you working with these fucking fascists to try to take down Twitch? And he basically was like, I don't care. I just want to take them down. I will work with whoever I can. I've heard they have a Tom Cotton collab in the works as well. And it's like, that's it. You are having one of the most far-right orgs take down far-left content, both of them hating Jews, creating huge stress for the moderates of both parties, enforcing both.
Part of me is actually pretty glad that people like Hasan never found my conversation with Dan. Part of me is pretty glad because I would hate for or no, I guess I talked pretty strong shit about Hasan in it too. Never mind. No, it would have been funny if that happened. Because in my conversation with Dan, like he openly admits that he doesn't think that Clancy is anti-Semitic, that he's explicitly exaggerating these things, and that he doesn't have strong positions on basically any of it, but he doesn't care, and he's going to be utilizing it to cause a ruckus anyways. He says that like pretty clearly, but yeah, I don't know. Would have been funny.
Both want a distance from them. The meme of this is a weapon of the enemy. We do not need this for anime. In real life, we pick up the proverbial gun and shoot the motherfucker. Yeah. Not just yelling, but also engaging in Islamophobia in the process of calling out hate speech. Very weird. They aren't going to stop until Hasanabi is banned. They straight up said it, lol. I know. And like, they don't care. That's the worst part about it is that like, look, in their endless like interest of getting Destiny unbanned, which is like what...
He's not getting unbanned.
If you want to get your name, phone number, and address off the internet, but want to handle the removals yourself,
they're basically destroying this goddamn platform or trying to destroy this goddamn platform. And it's crazy. And no, Twitch will not die soon. I know everybody always says this dumb shit.
It's not going to die.
But no, I don't.
It's not going to make money.
I don't think Twitch is going to die soon, guys. I don't think that like a bunch of loser brigaders are going to cause the entire platform to collapse. It's
housing AWS. It's not going anywhere. But
like I said, it's still very, very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see that like these guys are basically botting mass email campaigns talking about how anti-Semitic the platform is over and over again. And it is the least anti-Semitic out of all the platforms out there.
No, I think I've seen Hasan talk about Dan doesn't really believe this stuff, so you might have seen your combo. No, I think I think he's referencing on a Anything Else podcast when he was talking to, I think he was talking to Relly, and he was just straight up telling Relly, he was just like mask off to Relly. It's like, no, I don't believe half this shit. I'm just saying it because I want to fuck with. I just want to fuck with the platform. I just want to fuck with Hasan. Yeah, he said that a couple weeks after, 2 weeks after my combo with Dan.
And I say this as someone who combats anti-Semitism on a regular fucking basis, and I'm losing my mind because the people that are doing it are literally collaborating with Nazis on the platform with actual Nazis. Fucking
Hasan says that Dan just wants to see the world burn. Well, that's what Dan said. That's what Dan said on the podcast talking with Relly.
In terms of service, are so mad, so butthurt that they can't stop being fucking edgy, that like they want to blow it up and destroy the platform and fuck over a bunch of Jewish content creators in the process as well.
Ooh.
As everybody else. Creative mischief, you're missing this
Who's anti-Semitic now?
part. Oh, here. Prohibited example, Zionist, name of animal. Allowed example, Zionist settlers keep encroaching Palestinian borders. Yeah. We prohibit the use of terms that may not be harmful or abusive in isolation, but can be used as a slur to denigrate others in certain contexts. Yeah, that's basically it. Similar to terms that may be used as a proxy for a protected group, we treat Zionists as a proxy for Jews or Israelis if the word is used in a context to promote harm or violence, or when used to make dehumanizing comparisons, or perpetuate anti-Semitic stereotypes. Comments regarding Zionism that are about the political movement, including criticism, do not violate our hateful conduct policy. Comments that call for violence against Zionism as a political movement or comments that would otherwise violate our policies are not allowed. Okay? So that's it. You can't use it as a pejorative. You can talk about it as a political movement.
The virtue signal is so obvious you can't be this retarded. What about the fact that they're not going to enforce this rule?
That's it.
That's my position is basically that they don't plan on enforcing this rule except for maybe a couple times to send a message. But this is about sending a message to basically political content creators to say, please chill. Please chill. Okay, please chill. That's what this is.
You can't use it as a pejorative. You can talk about it as,
and not just that, but also telling advertisers, see, look, we're doing stuff.
As a political movement. And I know a lot of you are going to want to try and use it as a pejorative. And every single person that's like saying that right now, every single person that's like using that as a pejorative is getting logged. You're most likely going to get banned from the platform. Okay. Not only are you going to get banned from the platform, but before you get banned from the platform, Destiny will use the things that you're saying in the chat. And his community will use the things that you're saying in the chat to try to get me banned from the platform.
I love that he keeps saying Destiny's like pretty hands off about this. I think it's clear that he doesn't give a fuck, but like he's pretty like hands, or like maybe even is glad that his son's getting shit on. But this is literally just Dan. It's literally just Dan. You don't really see. I haven't seen any clips of Destiny talking about this or encouraging it or whatever. But I think the reason why he's propping up Destiny is because Destiny is like the boogeyman in Hasan's chat.
Form as well. I'm just letting y'all know. Twitch is going against UN resolutions.
What?
No, it doesn't matter.
What?
They're not like as aggro, and they're not doing.
How?
They're not going as aggro as like the IHRA definition. Okay. Literally like saying you can't say Nazis are bad. No, it's not like that. You can say Zionism is a harmful political ideology. I agree it's dumb to capitulate, but it also seems like it's the same as the wheat thins controversy, so at least they're being consistent. Maybe I'm off base. It is no different than the wheat thins controversy, except this time when most people look at like anti-white racism as a fucking joke, anti-Semitism is real, unlike anti-white racism or whatever the fuck. So
say Israel?
At this time...
Or Israel?
When most people look at like anti-white racism as a fucking joke.
Destiny is doing some weird in-community drama about his head mod or something. Yeah, I saw some shit about like forethought, I guess, about whether or not he's... I don't know. It looks dumb. The moment something like any of the like inner community drama stuff is just stupid.
Anti-Semitism is real, unlike anti-white racism or whatever the fuck. So obviously, while most brands don't have a problem with the term cracker. Okay. When you establish guidelines and rules about Zionism in this way, and you basically say, no, the framing that like Zionism can be a catch-all or a substitute for
Or thought it straight up toxic. So is Kelly. Listen, if I was in that situation,
people.
I would literally just fucking ban them both, get rid of them both. Anybody who I don't know, maybe there's this idea that like it creates some sort of discourse. It's something that you can do content with, whatever. But I would just straight up just cut the fat. Then, yeah, a lot of people, like I wouldn't think twice about like who's really in the right or anything. I just cut the fat.
People will also agree with that. Like a lot of there is no institution that is going to uphold anti-white racism, okay, or treat it seriously. But of course, anti-Semitism, unlike anti-white racism, like saying the word cracker, is a real thing. Anti-Semitism is a real thing. It's a real historic wrong.
As a general consensus, people want both gone. Yeah, that's the only real conclusion. Yeah.
Right.
But it's also free content, so fuck it. But it's stupid content.
And I think that's what it is. So yeah, when you say stuff like that, this is a good example of someone who's gonna get banned. Okay, like, and I banned them as well personally, but you can't do that. That's it. Thank you for demonstrating what kind of speech now is not allowed on the website. Imagine being 40 and throwing a publicly broadcast tantrum like you're 4. Yeah. Pig dog is also an anti-Jewish slur, apparently.
That institution is called Cornbread Tube. True. Yeah. There's also just like I know that no one is ever prepared for this conversation. Nobody wants to deal with this because everyone wants like a fucking like the most reductive, stupid understanding of like anti-white racism and stuff like that. But like the problem, I say this all the fucking time. The problem is fitting people into systems of racial categorization and giving them identity markers, identity categories that you're then making assumptions about their experience, their lives, their moral value, etc. It doesn't matter if it's anti-white racism. It doesn't matter if it's fucking, you know, you are putting this identity category on a pedestal or something. All of that shit is harmful and terrible and stupid, and everyone needs to cut it out. Because even the premise of like the anti-white racism is still racist the other way around. Like it's still just simply racist. Yeah, like you can say things like you know, you can talk about like the black experience and then just end up in like a positive anti-racist way, and then you end up just putting black people into this racial categorization with their own specific moral values associated with it, etc. And you're just being racist. It's just simply racist. It doesn't matter if it's anti-white racism, anti-black racism. It's just racist, period. Treating it as if there's any sort of like intrinsic value to these racial categories is insane, and people have lost their fucking minds on it.
Jew here, I didn't know this. Yeah, I didn't know that either. The only time I've ever heard that being used is when someone says capitalist pig dog. But apparently, that I've heard this as well. I did not know that, but apparently it is. Do you listen to Glorilla? Yes. Glorilla's llama freestyle has been stuck in my fucking head. New update. Terrorist is now a protected term. You can't compare a terrorist to an animal. Yeah, like, holy shit, I just realized they're going to try to get you banned when you say...
would you say that it's racist to say that black people can't be racist? Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Racism is just about treating these racial categories as real. Putting people into these racial categories. That's what racism is. Period.
Hogs? Maybe. So how does this apply to calling people a Nazi on Twitch when we know they get hurt about anti-white racism and Nazi can be conflated with white people, particularly...
Buddy, Sheeta. Buddy. I see you. Did you want permission to come in? No? Okay. My dog just like pops the door open with his head, just looks in and just stares at me. Doesn't move at all. Doesn't walk into the room, just stares at me. And just leaves.
Germans. I think that it's not going to be, it's not, I researched it. Wait.